Welcome to the Jill on Money Call of the Week. We are presented by Marcus by Goldman Sachs. If you've got a financial question, you want us to weigh in on that, just send an email. Ask Jill at jillonmoney.com. Ask Jill at jillonmoney.com. That is what Rose did. She is calling from North Carolina. Hello, Rose. What can I do for you?
Hi, Jill. So my husband and I have been working. We both work, and we've been saving and investing. And recently we are going to have some financial changes, like buying a house and maybe sending the kids to private school. Mm-hmm. So I am kind of taking financial stock of where we're at, and we keep bumping up against these Robo-Advisors. My husband is very interested in them. I am a little more nervous about them. And I wanted to know whether you think it's really worth it to move money from a traditional brokerage account into something like Betterment because of the daily rebalancing and the tax loss harvesting.
Okay, so let's start with what you have. Who is managing the account right now? You guys?
We are.
Okay, so the cost is basically whatever the cost of the funds are. Are you using mostly index funds?
Exactly, very low-cost ETFs.
Okay, so what is it about the Robo that your husband thinks that you're not getting currently?
He thinks that it saves us from having to rebalance. Mm-hmm. And he's been reading that doing daily rebalancing and tax loss harvesting can save you or add, thousands of dollars to your portfolio every year.
Okay.
So he feels like maybe we're leaving money on the table.
Oh, that's very interesting. Okay, let's talk about what you have. Tell us about what's in the accounts currently. So let's start with non-retirement accounts, because obviously that rebalancing only is really useful and the tax loss stuff is really only useful when it comes to a taxable account. So what's in a taxable account currently?
Okay, so we have a little over $700,000 in a taxable brokerage account at Schwab.
Okay.
And we have that about 80%, 80-20. It's like all ETFs, low cost.
Great.
And then we have about $250,000 in cash, which is a bit high, but we are going to buy a house. So we've been setting aside cash for a down payment. So I don't think we should count that for the
understood. That's going to be done.
Right.
Okay.
And then we have some money in 529s, and then we have another about $800,000 in retirement accounts.
With current employers?
Current and former employers. And now he went ahead just before, a few weeks ago, he was curious about the Betterment thing. So he put one IRA in Betterment, which is obviously you won't really value. There's no value to the tax loss harvesting.
Right.
But he just wanted to try it out and see the rebalancing and all the tools. Okay,
that seems fair enough. There's no reason why. That's not a bad idea. Tell us about what's going on in your lives. You sound young, and it sounds like you've got young kids. So how old are you, and how old is your husband?
Yeah. We're in late 30s, early 40s. We have two kids, age 3 and 7, and we rent. We've been renting for a very long time.
Wow.
And, so now we are ready to buy. And also, we're thinking about, my younger one has to go to private preschool, which is expensive. And then for logistical reasons, it may be easier for us to send our older kid to private school, too.
All right, that's going to be expensive. How much do you guys earn together?
Together, we earn probably like $450,000 to $500,000 a year.
And you're saving a lot, it sounds like, because you've got all this money set aside. How much are you paying in rent, just out of curiosity?
$2,700 a month.
Okay.
Which is actually really high. It's the highest we've ever paid.
You know what? Mark and I just both raised our eyebrows at the exact same time. Like, hi, wow, that sounds reasonable. But you can buy a house for how much money and be happy? What's the house going to cost you? The $250,000?
We can be happy $550,000 to $600,000.
All right, so $600,000. You get a $250,000. You put $250,000 down. You still have a conventional mortgage, piece of cake, and reasonable. And I'm sure the taxes aren't too bad there, right?
Right.
Okay, good. I'm not This is going to sound like maybe a tiny bit surprising to you. I'm not convinced that daily rebalancing is necessary. I've looked at a lot of academic research, and I have found that pretty much people say that if you could rebalance once, twice, or 4 times a year and get just about the same bang for your buck. I feel like a little bit like this is unnecessary. I mean, it may be that you're really busy. If you said to me, oh my God, I'm so busy in my life and there's no way we can keep managing this money, we want to go to a robo environment, then I think, fine. But I don't see that you're gaining that much. I'm not sure that you're actually leaving all that much money on the table. And frankly, if you just did a little tax loss selling when you begin the fourth quarter of the year for your non-retirement account, that $700,000 account, you may be in just fine shape. So unless he's hell-bent on doing it, it sounds like you're doing a good job. Do you feel overwhelmed by it? I mean, in other words, is there something else you're seeking? Do you want actual financial planning and more customized advice that's not about your investments, but about your life?
So I think part of this was motivated by wanting that broader just input. It's hard to find fee-based fiduciary financial planners. And, I try to only work with women. This is a personal matter, so it was even
Love
harder.
you.
But I did find somebody who seems great, and she's doing a financial plan for us.
Oh, great.
But they don't want to invest, they won't give us real investment guidance without managing it for us. Sort of weird. But
yeah. I like the idea that you paid for a financial plan and you get that. Because I think that if one of the things that would be interesting is if you said to me, well, I want more finance, you got your financial plan. Now it's talking about allocating assets. This is like the easiest part of your entire financial life. And you're doing it. You are doing it right now. I guess I would wonder, would they comment, okay, about what your allocation is right now?
They will.
Okay,
they
fine.
Will, and they'll go so far as to say, hey, we think you're taking on too much risk in this area or that area.
Good.
But they don't want to give us what their portfolio is.
We don't care about their portfolio. Your portfolio is probably better and more efficient than theirs. So I think if you're getting a plan and you look at your allocation, I don't think you need a robo. I mean, if he really wants to do it, then let him throw a little bit of money in there and he can play with it and use the tools. It's not that expensive, but it is like the 20 basis points difference would flow to your bottom line. Right? So you're right. It really probably is only 0.2 or 0.3% differential between you managing it and them putting it on their platform. But I like what you're doing, and I think you're in great shape. So I'm not sure why you do it.
One last thing is when you say the tax loss selling, that part gets a little technical for me. I mean, is that something that the Schwab person at the branch can help with?
Yeah. Let me tell you what this is. Okay. Here's what happens. You buy a mutual fund or an ETF. You spend $10 on it. Now it's the beginning of the fourth quarter, right? So it's $10 a share. Now it's $9 a share. And you're like, oh, I have a loss there. Even if you loved that fund, you could sell it and take that loss, whatever the loss is. The rule of thumb is that you can sell something at a loss. You could also sell something at a gain, and they could wash the gain against the loss. Meaning if you lost $1,000 in one fund, you gained $1,000 in another, you could sell them. You basically no tax consequences. And that's just a way to clean up and rebalance your portfolio at the end of the year. Maybe you look at what you own and you say, hey, you know what? I don't need 14 funds. I really just want 7 funds. And you can clean up that way. The other thing that you're allowed to do is in a taxable account is you can take up to $3,000 in losses every year against your ordinary income. So if you said, I have one loser in my it's October, you say, oh, I got a loser in my portfolio. And even if you thought it was a great fund, you might say, let me just sell it. And I can take up to $3,000 of losses in that portfolio beyond any gains that I take. That's what tax loss selling is. It's that easy. It's what did I buy it for? What's it worth now? Is it a gain? Is it a loss? And you know what? Here's what I'm going to encourage you to do. You're going to call us back at the end of the year and we're going to walk you through it. And you're going to say to me, you'll say, I'm going to send you a screenshot of our taxable account and we're going to walk through it. But you'll pay attention to it now because you'll see on your statement, you'll see cost basis and current value. And the difference between the cost basis and the current value is either a gain or a loss. That's all that tax loss selling is. It's funny because people make it sound like, oh, it's this sophisticated algorithm. That's it. It's like the easiest algorithm to write.
Well, they advertise it, the robos, as saving you thousands of dollars if you do it all the time, like every day.
Oh, listen, I love Betterment. They used to sponsor our show. I think they're great. But I don't really see that daily rebalancing is necessary. I don't think that that is a necessary aspect of your total financial picture. I think the money you spent on your financial plan is probably more valuable to you than whatever tax loss harvesting. And there's no reason that you need to do tax loss harvesting more than once a year. I'm meeting with some really geeky dudes for lunch today, and I'm going to just say, what do you think? And I'm going to let you know. How about that?
That sounds great.
All right.
I wanted your guidance, and I got it. I'm so grateful. Thank you.
All right. Good luck. Thanks for calling. Okay, that's the call of the week. If you have a financial question, just give us a holler. Send an email to askjill@jillonmoney.com or go to the website, jillonmoney.com. You can click the Contact Us button right there. Oh, by the way, while you're there, sign up for our free newsletter. It's free. Why not? We drop new episodes of Jill on Money every Tuesday and Thursday, and you can download the show anywhere that you get your podcasts. Apple, Google Play, radio.com, Stitcher, wherever. Our music is composed by Joel Goodman. Mark Talercio is our executive producer. We're distributed by Cadence 13, and our show is presented by Marcus by Goldman Sachs. See you next week.